Good day everyone, Complaining Gamer here. Today we're going to take a look at the latest additions to the NetDuma R1 gaming router. Running on Duma OS, it recently received an update known as Milestone 1.3, which introduced Ping Assist V2, Hybrid VPN, Advanced Ping Stats and Device Manager enhancements. Focusing on Advanced Ping Stats, it allows us to see the server host tick rate and receive rate, as well as your own client tick rate and send rate. This allows you to see the quality of your game's connection in far more detail than ever before. If you've never heard of NetDuma, you can think of it as the original gaming router designed to eliminate lag and give you more control over your gaming experience. Initially for console gamers, which has now expanded to complete home network management. Using the Blackout Battle Royale game mode from Black Ops 4 on Xbox One, I'll demonstrate advanced ping stats and why its addition is incredible for simple, effective network analysis. Jumping straight into some Blackout Quads gameplay, you can see the real-time network statistics in the top left corner as captured by Duma OS. Starting with ping, also known as your latency to the server or commonly referred to as lag. Most console game developers consider a ping below 100 milliseconds a good connection. PC gamers generally expect a much lower ping. A typical reason for a higher ping is due to the distance between you and the server or host, but there can be multiple factors affecting ping. Generally, gamers understand lag, but the following stats are less understood and are just, if not more important to your gaming experience. Host tick rate refers to the packets per second from the server to you, the player. You may also see it referred to as the rate at which the game is simulated on a server. Typically, the higher the better, leading to a more accurate, desirable representation of what actually happened in-game. This is where Blackout as a mode fails miserably. It has a server tick rate of 20 Hz or 20 updates per second. Compare this to Overwatch, which is 63 Hz, PUBG 60, CSGO 64 and Fortnite at 30 Hz. In some cases, this rate is variable depending on the amount of players in a given server, with initial dips at the beginning of a match recovering to the desired server tick rate after player numbers decrease. The odd thing about Blackout in its current state is that it momentarily starts with a higher rate than normal at around 40 Hz, which rapidly decreases and stays low regardless of player count, which is quite the opposite of how other titles behave. For those of you who did not play Black Ops 4 when it launched, the multiplayer was also set to a server tick rate of 20 Hz, leading to a mass outcry of unhappy players constantly dying around corners but not knowing why, even when they had a low ping. For a fast-paced multiplayer FPS experience, 20 Hz is simply too low to accurately represent the action on screen, leading to delays and a poor experience. Since the initial launch of Black Ops 4, both host tick rate and client tick rate are now at 60 Hz in multiplayer, which will provide more consistent and expected gameplay, especially when paired with a low ping as a general rule of thumb. On the other hand, Blackout has never received such an improvement, and even initially players were unknowingly cheated in multiplayer, as the beta server tick rate was 60 Hz only to be lowered to 20 upon day one launch, to then be raised again. The 20 Hz found in Blackout does not make it unplayable, but it does mean that you should not be surprised by anything odd that you experience, and it simply isn't good enough for a AAA title. Battlefield 5 does show the player the server tick rate, which for now is 30, which is borderline acceptable but not great, so once again expect some odd behaviour at times.
We have now taken objective Able.
Client tick rate relates to the packets you, the player, send to the server. Typically, you would want this to be on par with the server rate, for example 60/60, or some would say the same as the FPS of the game you are playing, which is more realistic on console when compared to what a PC can achieve. In the case of Blackout, the client is sending a consistent 60 updates per second, but the server is only sending 20. This will lead to some inconsistencies and a loss of information, which can translate to bullets in a rapid fire weapon not connecting. The higher the tick rate, the less the delay. The lower the rate, the higher the delay. Network analysis for Black Ops 4 is nothing new at this point. However, to still have such a low server tick rate in November is laughable, and some countries are still running at a rate of 20 Hz even in standard multiplayer, whereas other countries are enjoying a better experience at 60 Hz. Send rate and receive rates relate to the physical data sent by the server to you and you to the server, and are generally small amounts which can increase or decrease with more or less activity. Black Ops 4 does allow you to check your ping when in-game by simply going to network options found in the menu. As stated earlier though, ping alone is not enough information to tell the whole story. Players love to see it but don't fully understand that a low ping in isolation is only one part of the networking puzzle. Unfortunately, the netcode in Black Ops does seem to show some benefits for players with painfully high ping to the detriment of the player with a good connection. The consensus seems to be that COD is a casual game for casual gamers, therefore how much of the player base would benefit from networking knowledge? On the other hand, there was definitely an increase in interest in the subject, especially on Reddit, with such topics getting to the #1 spot when players knew something was off but were unable to articulate what exactly, thus started Googling their concerns. If you'd like to learn more, I highly recommend checking out the Battle Nonsense channel, which I will link below, a netcode analysis expert who goes into great detail about the subject. The reason these changes to Doom OS are a potential game changer, especially for console gamers, is that previously getting these statistics was not a simple process, requiring your console to be bridged through your PC connection, then have the signal analysed by a program called Wireshark, which can be an incredibly in-depth piece of software. The advantage of Wireshark, of course, is that it's free, and the example I'm showing here requires a device running Doom OS, but you could argue that network analysis is somewhat of a niche area already. As of this video, Doom OS Milestone 1.3 has only just been rolled out on the R1 gaming router to be updated for the Netgear series running Doom OS shortly, following tests in models Nighthawk XR500, XR700 and the XR450. So depending on when you watch this and if you own those routers, then you may already have these new features. The only limitation we have for now, and it is a feature that I've requested from the Doomer team, is the ability to output and save the data captured by Ping Assist V2. Until then, what we have is real-time visualization of the connection and server experience in more detail than ever, hopefully increasing player interest in tick rates. You may have noticed that the host type says peer, but it's most likely a false ID, as the majority of the time on Black Ops 4 you will be connected to a dedicated server and not a peer, although peer connections are possible. A secondary statistic that I have noticed is that when Doom OS is reporting a ping of 80, the in-game menu ping from Black Ops 4 will always be around 20 milliseconds higher at 100. Typically I play with my location set to the UK to benefit the people I play with, but I actually live in Turkey, and at least in terms of a console experience, I'm accustomed to a ping of around 100 to 120 milliseconds, so it's not a problem for me. Ultimately, networking knowledge is interesting, but no substitute for a poor internet service provider or player skill. A perfect connection does not equate to skillful teammates, especially on Overwatch. Whilst observing how the servers currently behave in Black Ops 4, I also took a moment to check the FPS, another known area, but still fun nonetheless. Remembering I'm on the base Xbox One, the least powerful system currently running the latest Call of Duty, unsurprisingly it can drop into the 40s. I found the FPS fairly stable and consistent enough, close to 60, that it never presented any huge hindrance, which is noteworthy for 2013 hardware, which was outdated even then. For those of you curious about my specific connection, I play wired through a powerline adapter which connects to the NetJuma R1 router on one side for my PC and Xbox, and on the other end the ISP modem with speeds of 50 megabit down and 2 up. Naturally, to play the game and observe the network, I use 2 monitors simultaneously. Doom OS also allows me to choose specific geographical locations, so if anyone has a server analysis request from anywhere in the world on a gaming title, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. Let's hope the server experience for Blackout will be improved as soon as possible. Leave your ideas, thoughts and comments down below. If you dislike the content, dislike. If you liked it, leave a like. And to stay up to date with all things Complaining Gamer, subscribe and hit that bell icon. I'll catch you in the next one.